This 18-year-old young man is so talented. Scientists are trying to study his brain to learn why. And he happens to be blind. He's a blind pianist. This blind piano player, piano prodigy, basically reminds us of the talent that Amadeus Mozart had when he was a little boy. This blind piano prodigy has been entertaining audiences across the world since he was 11 years old. This blind piano prodigy met major success in his life, entertaining audiences across the world since he was 11, and now scientists are studying his brain to find out what exactly makes him so good. When Matthew Whitaker was born prematurely at 24 weeks, he was not only blind, but he had a series of health problems, and his parents were told that he had less than a 50% chance of survival. Before he even reached the age of 2, Whitaker had to undergo 11 surgeries. However, not only did Whitaker manage to survive, but by the age of 3, he was already able to skillfully play the piano and even write his own songs without even needing a teacher. So that reminds us of Amadeus Mozart. Do you know who wrote the music to Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star? It was Amadeus Mozart when he was 3 years old. Now, going back to Matthew Whitaker. He's now 18. He lives in Hackensack, New Jersey. He's a native there and knows and is now a universally praised tunesmith and jazz pianist who has performed at prestigious venues including the Lincoln Center, the Kennedy Center, Carnegie Hall, the Apollo Theater. He's a virtuoso. He can play anything by ear, ranging from Beyoncé to Dvorak. And now the prodigiously talented musician is the focus of a new medical study that seeks to find out how exactly the brains of brilliant musicians work and how they are different from those of average people. Neurologist and fellow musician Dr. Charles Limb has headed the research, conducting MRI exams on Whitaker both while he listened to music and while he played the keyboard. Limb told 60 Minutes, "I think maybe somebody watches Matthew play piano. The first thing that you think is, how does he do that? Except rather than just wondering, I'm actually trying to answer the question." What Dr. Limb found was shocking. Whitaker's brain had apparently repurposed the visual cortex in order to develop other neurological pathways. When Whitaker listens to his favorite bands, his visual cortex is activated, and Limb continues to explain, "Because he is blind, we looked at his visual cortex, and we did not see any significant activity there at all during the dull lecture. When we switched the soundtrack for him and we put on a band that he knows quite well, that is what changes in his brain. It seems like his brain is taking that part of the tissue that's not being stimulated by sight and using it to perceive music. It's sort of borrowing that part of the brain and rewriting it to help him hear music." Whitaker found the findings interesting, but what was surprising that his brain became illuminated during the scans whenever he listened to music. He simply acknowledged, "I love music." This is by Elias Murat on the Mind Unleashed Creative Commons. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, And we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.